unlocking business intelligence through financial analytics. In today's fast-paced business world, financial analytics is a key strategic tool that connects financial goals with enterprises-wide intelligence. By using data-driven insights, organizations can optimize resources, improve forecasting, and align financial strategies with long-term objectives. Our expert panel will share practical approaches to integrating analytical into financial strategy, driven efficiency, smarter investment, and new growth opportunities. Please welcome our panelists. Mr. Adib Zoghbi, Global CFO, Baker Hughes. Mr. Adib Zoghbi, please give a big round of applause. Mr. Deepak Patro, CFO Naqel Express. Mr. Gorjao, Costa, Senior Advisor for Strategy and Financial SPL. Moderated by Mr. Mohammed Fahmy, Financial Director, Honeywell. Over to you, Mr. Fahmy.
Hello, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you today to the panel discussion Unlocking Business Intelligence through Financial Analytics. We are thrilled to have a lineup of incredible speakers who will share their insights and how financial analytics is shaping smarter decision-making. In today's fast-changing business environment, finance is no longer just about numbers. It is mainly about how these numbers can be formatted to support the decision-making process and how can be used to enhance the performance and driving growth. So there are key points that we need to discuss regarding how to utilize these data, what is the tools in the market that being utilized in each and every big organization. Then we have here speakers that have the experience and the knowledge in their organizations to support us and explain how this is being used in their organizations. So I would like to extend a special welcome to our esteemed panelist, Adib Zoghbi, CFO of Growth and Experience Baker Hughes, Gorjao, Costa, Executive Member at SPL, Deepak, CFO at Naqel. Okay, so we'll start with Adib. So what is the new technology do you think will have the biggest impact on financial analytics?
Thank you, Mohammed, for the introduction. And thank you for Mr. Nasser for a great keynote speech. And thank you for the audience, my fellow finance colleagues, taking the time to join today. Before answering your question, Mohammed, I would just like to zoom out a bit and draw the big picture that we've been living through in the digital and technological world in the past couple of years. I would like to highlight three insights or the KPIs. With the creation of ChatGPT back in November 2022, it took ChatGPT 5 days to reach 1 million users. And this in comparison to Facebook back in 2004, it took them almost 1 year to reach this number of users. Another point I would like to highlight is once that ChatGPT was developed as a generative AI technology, quickly after that, the big players like Google and Amazon and have developed alternative, similar competitive solutions. And only a few weeks ago, there was an advancement even in this technology with the development of DeepSeek that also added progress to generative AI. So why I'm saying all of this is to say that we live today as we all know, in an environment that is putting a lot of highlights on speed in the developments. And what does this mean? And this is impacting all sectors and all functions within companies, not limited to finance, of course. But now going back to your questions when it comes to finance, and probably this has been already highlighted during the keynote speech with Mr. Nasser. I see the impact in finance basically around 3 pillars from a technology perspective. One is AI, of course, and this has implications across the finance function, across financial analysis, the treasury, controllership, and we're going towards more real-time data analysis, predictability of cash flows, faster closing cycles, more accuracy, more ability capacity to increase the scope and universe of audits within the internal audit. So it's impacting all finance functions, finance areas within the finance functions. The other pillar I would like to focus about is the automation. And by automation, I mean we have today more ability to automate a number of sub-tasks within processes, within the finance function. So this increases the efficiency of processes, especially in the world of account receivables, accounts payables, and the accounting space in general. And we have more ability to do process mining, identify the process steps that require automation, and then automate them through very different tools that we have available today. And I would say the third pillar that I'm really excited about is when it comes to data and having cloud ERPs and cloud data lakes that will enable more cross-data access and increase the capacity of this technology to develop analytics for better decision making in the finance function.
Okay, from your perspective, how finance teams can work among the other functions to enhance the business intelligence in general?
This is a very good question. I think if I go back to my earlier days as a financial analyst when I started my career 15, 20 years ago, I remember we used to do analysis at the end of each month or each quarter to do variance analysis. For example, we say sales grew by X% or dropped by X%, profitability also grew by X% or dropped by X%, but then in order for us to really know the reasons behind these changes, as finance analysts, we needed to go and meet with the sales team, with the operations team, with the supply chain team, and talk to them and understand, okay, what happened here, what happened there, and then based on those meetings and discussions, we used to develop the analysis and the root cause behind this. I think now going back to today's world and with these technologies that are available at our footprint, we are moving more towards the technologies being able to provide us those answers for the analysis, and then us really being able as a finance function to collaborate through cross-functional projects with the finance, with the other functions, with operations, with supply chain, to turn this analysis into actionable decisions and actions that will improve faster the business efficiency and effectiveness and growth. So,
okay, so just to understand, because there was a discussion and there was question about cutting opportunities for finance. I believe that if we came to the point that the data collection and data availability will enable you to take better decision without engaging these functions, or you still have to go and engage them and understand the numbers, how the numbers are generated, and how the numbers are populated, the strategy of each function, so you can align the overall functions targets to the overall strategy.
Yeah, I think the engagement is definitely needed. I just think that the speed of the steps in terms of the analysis has changed. So for example, before we used to do the analysis, then engage to understand what's behind the numbers, then decide what to do to improve the numbers, then engage to do the actions. In today's world, we are moving at a faster pace, meaning we will get the analysis done by the technology. We need to engage to validate, okay, whether this is really the reasons, and then we need to engage to action, into action plans to drive and improve the numbers. So the engagement is definitely needed. It's just the pace and the speed of the steps that we used to take is much faster.
Yeah, so this is what exactly I was trying to pitch it here. So the AI supposed to make your work more easy, so you have the room and the time to do the decision making, which is mainly the reason that we all our functions are. So giving you the time to analyze the data, take the decision, rather than consuming your time in collecting data from various functions to understand the whole landscape. So the AI in this phase is mainly to group all of these data at one location that you can access and analyze and engage the stakeholders and then take a decision. So moving to Andre, and the main question is how the financial analytics support business growth.
So probably, probably speaking a little bit what was mentioned, I think first of all, technology today is not a problem. There are a lot of available technologies. We can probably mention 10 very easily. AI, it's proven, and the recent news that came to the market, that will become easier and easier to have access and to have the ability to take care of a lot of data very fast. So I think the biggest question, how to use it, how to take the data, how to use the data in the development of the organization that we work for, or for other organizations, or even to developing new business and new strategies. And that part, and today there was a report which I was just reading some highlights of McKinsey about the maturity of AI in organizations, and it's still very mature, although some organizations have invested more than 1 year ago in AI technology. Even in generative AI technology, which is the one that can self-generate information, data, and insights, the level of achievements are very low yet. And I would focus in 3 topics. First of all, how to use it. And there, the first relevant part, which our keynote speaker mentioned very well, still today, and I think for at least for the foreseeable future, people will be very important in this agenda. Because getting the right people, probably the more capable people to deal with all these technologies, will be fundamental. And we go from technological people to philosophers. Because sometimes some of the questions that this information will enable us to answer come from design thinking, from scientific thinking. So when we think we want to invest in AI, we are going to hire the best scientists or the best technicians or the best AI or IT specialists. It's not true. We need to get the right people for the objectives we want. And what I saw with several companies and several finance functions in company, they are not yet introducing a lot of information from the market, from outside sources in their analysis. So the value that they generate for the organization, it's more an inside look than an outside look. As we put more information from the outside together with our own information, we can get a lot more insights to predict the future, to develop better strategies, and sometimes to answer questions that the management has, how to best lead the companies.
Okay, so regarding the AI and how the AI is being used in the financial analysis, we would like to hear more how this is being utilized in the decision-making process.
So as I mentioned, the AI, it's, I think today it's a very big team that everyone is speaking about, but the way companies are using AI today, it's a way to replace some of the work or some of the analysis were done with a lot more time in the past. So trying to simplify functions, trying to accelerate some of the data analysis that in the past would take a lot of time. They are not yet creating new data, creating new information based with the capabilities of AI. As I mentioned, if we cross out external data from the industry we are working on with our internal information, and we use some generative AI tools, we can get a lot of insights. What are the trends? Where we are positioned, and how can we leverage to grow faster than our competitors. And one of the things that this report shows is that companies that have been able to introduce some AI technology in their business analytics or in their business intelligence, they are able to grow 5 to 10% faster. You would say, it's not a lot. Yes, it's not a lot because the level of integration of AI in the business intelligence of the company is still very small and very rudimentary. As we get more professional and we get more proficient in using it, as we have data scientists, which is a person that is enabled to understand data and to build strategies based on that data, build information that the managers can use, our ability to grow revenues based in the business analytics and based on the AI tools, it will be a lot higher.
One of the key questions that being raised also, the AI era requires a new set of skills to the finance personnel.
Yes, as I said, it's you require, first of all, IT knowledge. You need to understand the tools that you have and what is the best tool. I think one of the relevant topics regarding AI and all technology, it's the safeguard of the information that is put in those technologies, because it's very easy to use information in open AI technology or and we can lose our information, or we can have our information shared with the market, which at the end of the day can give power to our competitors if it is sensitive information of the company. So we need to have people that are proficient in the IT space to understand how to use the tools. Second of all, we need to have the data scientists, people that understand data to lead the decisions and to lead, I would say, resourceful information for the companies. And last but not least, I think the CFOs and the finance function needs to be more and more a strategic part of the organization, which is the connection between the finance and the strategy teams needs to be higher, so they can feed the strategy team with information and the strategy team can feed them with needs. And sometimes, today I saw in the last year's finance function serving a lot as information provider and not solutions provider. I think one of the things we need to evolve in finance function is have people that are able to provide to the business solutions and not only data.
Yes, and this is also a looking ahead point, because there have been new emerging rules into the finance, which is a hybrid rules that contains finance people that have IT background or the vice versa or the other way around. which is called the interpreter. So there is also another rule called connector, which is connecting all the other functions, having a general knowledge of all of these functions. So these new rules prove that the AI era might work on the other way around. It will give finance professionals more insight, adding more new rules and skill set required for the market. Moving to Deepak. So one of these tools in the digital and technologies are the PI, and we would like to hear from you how the PI is being utilized right now.
Sure. So, first of all, good morning, everyone. I think people are too much thinking about AI, too much thinking about ML. Yeah, definitely, the world is changing, and as a CFOs, we need to think what are the technologies are coming into the market, and how can we, integrate to our finance functions all these tools, and how is it going to help us, right? So as we are in a different organization, different sectors, and different size of companies. So we are the best people to analyze, may not be just thinking that, okay, different company has implemented some tool or some technology. We need to do that, but we need to assess ourselves, what tool is going to help us, and what size of data we have which can cater our requirements. Right, when I say BI, I believe it is not a new thing, which is, I believe, I started using before 10 to 12 years before, when I was into the multinational companies. But when I joined Saudi Arabia, definitely it was a bit of new for the people, and when even I started implementing. So at the time I was a user. Now when we started implementing in the company, it's not so easy for us, because the people we have, or our mindset need to change. As a finance, we always think that Excel is the best tool for us. We can plug and play anytime, and we can do anything. But what is happening when we implement a BI tool? Basically, someone else is helping us to do the dashboards, to help us on the analysis. But we are the kind of end user at that time, right? So we don't get the comfort of the reports what we get, because we have not worked on it. So we need to start, believing in it, as my fellow colleagues mentioned, that first of all, we are not the starting point of using Excel. Then you reach to a report. Then you start analyzing or taking decision. But the data and the reports are available with you. You need to start using it, and you need to start value adding to the company. Right, so definitely the BI tool nowadays with AI and ML is very key for most of the organization, or all of the organization. But we need to judge basically what is right fit for us, and what size of company we are working with.
So how the PI tools is supporting the enhanced growth of a rapid changes in the environment. So how the PI is being utilized to reflect the changes in the market also as well. So it is used mainly, or the main target for it is for internal use and collecting data internally. But what about the external part?
Definitely, it is not only internal. Our customers, our vendors, and all our stakeholders look for certain data. Like we are in logistics industry. What we try to provide to our customers is how the support what they look for. How is the service we are providing? What is our service level? Everything is readily available with them, which gives them confidence that, okay, how this company is performing as compared to other companies. As Andre mentioned, it is always not that the data sharing is a risk, but we need to know which is the risk, and we should not be sharing. But what can be said, it should be said with the customer, so that they are aware of it. Example, service level, what we are achieving as our KPI, right? If it can be said with a customer, they will be very happy to onboard with us instead of a competitor, right? So how will you do that? You need to definitely use certain tools, because you have millions and billions of data in your systems, and which need to be translated to into one or two numbers, which is making a result which is giving you a value, and it's they calculate that, okay, whether is it useful for us, is it required for us, so then we can go with this company. So what I'm trying to say is, like, definitely BI is a must. AI and ML on top of that is adding complexity, and it's all needed for the newest technology, newest world, and we need to start using it, we need to implement it, otherwise we may be in the last of the journey in any of the competitors.
Okay. Back to you, Adib, and the important question is, first of all, should all the organization embrace the new technologies, moving to digital transformation, using AI, or this have some specific requirements or needs that every organization need to check before going there?
I think to answer this question, I would say that we need to understand why do we want to use AI? What is the use case? And then what are the needs or the objectives of the organization that AI or a technology embracement will need to help with? And then based on this assessment, we proceed accordingly. And to Andre's point earlier, the adoption is still very slow, and we can see this across our companies, and this I would think of a number of reasons why the adoption is slow. One is that the proven use cases are still not solid. Second is I'll go back probably to one of the questions that were asked after the keynote speaker, is about the data security and privacy and the importance of the confidentiality of the data with the AI tools used. So this is another challenge that organizations need to figure out how to handle. And finally, I would say probably the best approach would be through pilots, meaning we pilot the implementation into a certain function or area or country or business unit, and then we learn, and then we engage and scale from there.
Andre, you have, yes, of course.
So transformation, transformation is something that as human beings don't like by nature, because it's change, and we don't like to change. So it brings uncertainty and brings risks. A lot of people, and I'm very, I would say, experienced in transformations. It's an area where I like to work, and I've been working with several organizations in that. And normally people talk about being agile in the transformation. And for me, the most important part of being agile in a transformation is being agile in correcting the errors, which means we will always have failures in doing a transformation. That's a basic principle we need to accept and to embrace. If we want to go through a transformation, and we ask normally to the leadership, we are going to put up a transformation, but we cannot fail. That's a mistake. We will always fail. We need to be able to understand the things that are not going well, correct in a very agile way, and being able to do it. In this case, one of the big obstacles to automation, to AI technology in the finance departments, it's the scare that organizations are to fail. Because financial information is very important. All the financial data that is provided to the organization is fundamental to understand the health of the organization. As we introduce these kind of tools, normally we sometimes fail. Sometimes we don't get the proper information. Sometimes we get the information but not with the quality we wanted, and we need to be able to embrace this and to be able to, as we go along, to adapt and to change. If we do that in a, I would say, natural way and a proficient way, in Probably not in 6 months, 1 year, but probably in 2-3 years, will be probably one of the best organizations in terms of having these technologies in-house. Adib talked in the beginning, automation. Automation, I heard about automation in the finance function in an organization in terms of namely back office activities for more than 10 years. The level of automation in organizations is very low compared with the capabilities of doing that. Because we try to replace activities that are done by people or by Excel or by computers, we don't try to see how automation can enable us to do a lot better, how to upgrade the quality of the things that we are doing, and with that, we don't get too much benefits, and at the end of the day, we continue to rely on the old systems. So the ability in a process of transformation to accept the error and to be agile in correcting, I think it's a fundamental piece.
Sorry, Mohammed, I just would like to add some focus on a very important point that Andre brought up, which is the culture and the mindset within the organization. We, as organizations evolve, there needs to be an embracing of transformation mindset. And by transformation mindset, it's not a one-time kind of change management project and then we are done. In today's world, there needs to be one of the key values within the culture of the organization, continuous transformation. And I think this comes under the value of excellence, because excellence is really doing your best and continuing to be doing your best. And I think really this cultural shift is very important to be able to adopt and implement automation, AI, etc.
Yeah, I agree. So it's a long way to go to transform the business in general. But before going there, because this will require costs, this will require effort, time, business disruption, we need to ask the main question that why we need to transform. What is exactly the benefits that will come to the organization against all of these elements that will, of course, will consume resources and the time of everyone. So going to Deepak, what do you think the other elements that impacting this transformation?
See, first thing is, as we already discussed, it's a faster decision making, faster result oriented. We can't wait. If suppose as a finance function, we close the month in 8th or 10th day, right? And we go to the business leaders and give this information to, digest and start working on it. We lost already maybe 15 days of the month, right? So that is not going to work out anymore with the new way, new age world and new technology world. We need to have the then and there or the seamless numbers sharing and result oriented numbers, and decision making need to happen immediately. So that is where it is very important for us to use those technologies for decision making strategically. Any changes needed need to be done, and that way it will be helping the company to be on top of the competitors you have.
Okay, so I will move to the audience. So anyone have a question for discussion?
Just taking on Mr. Deepak's highlights that if you are closing within 10 days, you are already past 10 days. But in a big setup, a 60 setup, and where there are a lot of companies whose hand sharing of costs, how do you think that you can reduce 10 days? What is the ideal time frame that a finance should be ready with its analytics?
To be honest, again, it depends on the company size, but what I have seen the best companies in 3rd to 4th day, working day of the closure of the month, generally the numbers are there for the business leaders, but I can leave to the other guys their expertise.
I would say that depends on the data you want to provide. So certain data should be almost real time. Sometimes most of the organizations still can't do it real time, but you could do it real time. Because the accurate financial data, it's needed probably you could bear 10 days to have the accurate financial data, but probably 3 to 4 days would be the enough time to have sufficient data to support decisions. Because as you close the year, when you have now we are in the closing of the year, you only need to have by the end of January the sufficient data to give the information to the management, how did we perform, which should be basically understanding how the year closed. And in a logistic business, it's very important because the end of the year is a very strong period of the year. But apart from that, closing with the audit and everything can take more time because that will be just more for reporting than for decision making.
Yes, I would agree with Andre that the time and like the closing time and then the official reporting is mainly for external reasons, while decision-making reasons within most of our companies, we know before the end of the quarter, we can estimate to a very high level of accuracy, the potential end result in terms of revenue or profitability, etc. And then we can accordingly do the decisions, do the analysis, and basically forecast what the main decisions are needed.
Just add one thing which is very important. When you do this in 2-3 days, sometimes the information that is given to the organization, it's not the correct one. And when you close it 10 days after or 5 days after, you see that are mistakes. Embrace it, correct it, next month don't make it. But it will happen, so.
Okay, any other questions? Yes, please.
Thank you. Thanks for all, and I think it's a very fruitful discussions happening now, and it's one of the important topic which a CFO used to face. I myself was to face this. There is a change of mindset, cultural in the organization, which is very important for any organizations to be ahead of their competitors. So I need to understand from all the DICE people who have been present here, they have experience to this. What are the important points as a CFO to be looked out when you need to bring changes or cultural improvement or we say cultural changes in an organizations to adopt new technologies like AI has been now, BI tools which has been just, Deepak has discussed about it, it has been, in India I also seen this, it's been used for almost more than 10 years earlier, but it's a new technology in the Middle East I was finding here. So how to brings the changes in the organization, what are the steps CFO needs to take, including the management team, what are the points to be discussed with the team to bring down from the top level to the last persons in the organizations to bring the cultural change, because it is a continuous process, not a one-time process as one of the members discussed. So make these things, bring these changes in the organization, what are the CFO role himself has to be play, and just to define it from your side. Thank you.
So I'll take a step at answering this question. Thank you for, it's great. Yes, so first I would like to mention that CFOs are not alone in the sense from a leadership team. This needs to be a teamwork with the executive leadership team, with the CEO and the other head of functions and head of businesses. And the key, I would say the key change from a cultural perspective is driving towards the transformation mindset that we spoke about earlier. And also an important point is to address the elephant in the room and the anxiety of the team members of, AI is gonna replace jobs, AI is gonna, and have a transparent conversation about it. So that will help faster adoption and faster cultural shift and from a change perspective. And then you move to the technical side and discuss what is the goal that needs to be achieved, agree on it, and then embed these goals into the annual and quarterly goals of the team members across the different functions, and then just work towards it. I would say that how I would approach it.
I would just add one point. I think, from my experience, if the finance function or the CFO can be a partner of the business and not only the reporting entity, the one that does the controlling of the performance, it's the first step to, I would say, gain the trust and gain the confidence of the organization. That, as the topic was, unlocking business intelligence. For me, unlocking business intelligence is more supporting the business than doing the control. And finance functions, unfortunately, in some organizations are seeing like the controlling guy, the guy that comes with the good or with the bad news.
Any other questions?
You know, this controlling aspect, nowadays, because of the cyber security, the EBS they are the leading the show. In the name of risk and cyber security, there are a lot of benefits which we can drive through BI implementation. It is being stopped or not implemented in the name of security, cyber security. How do you handle it?
Okay, so technically, for the open sources like ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and all of these new AI platforms, there is no guarantee that so far that whatever you will use from your internal organization data can be kept and secured. Unless you have an AI tool or platforms in-house, I believe this is that's the thing that you can control. Other than this, there is still an exposure. No one guarantees whatever these data will be used or stored, or who can use this data later on.
I would just add one point. When you use open source AI, it's good to collect information and to collect data and to do analysis. When you are using information, it's better you get some, I would say, basic AI tools that will enable you to deal with your information and then integrate your information with the one that you get from an open source AI. It's the best solution. But cybersecurity is a big topic. It's a topic which I think it's a lot beyond a finance function activity. It's in all the organization, which is outside of my area of knowledge. I know that is always a big, big topic in organizations.
I would like to add one point that, and this is a very good question. I think it's very important for us as CFOs to educate ourselves on cybersecurity and to understand how it impacts finance function and also beyond, like the organization in general. This is going to be a very important area going forward given the advancement in the technology. And I think today, as of today, I think the level of knowledge as CFOs and finance people in terms of cybersecurity and how it impacts our world from a finance perspective can be improved. And once we get to that level of understanding, we will be able to better address the challenges and how to adopt the challenges of adoptions and speed up this adoption.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, guys. Actually, nothing much to add, but definitely when we speak about controls and cybersecurity, totally different topic altogether. It's definitely related, but not conflicting each other, I would say. Controls, we can use different technology to, maintain the controls or save the company from the fraud or any other malfunctioning. But when it comes to cybersecurity, as others mentioned, it is different altogether on the data and how we secure our data and not moving to any other source. But always, I believe, when we use this AI or ChatGPT, all this, we need to always be very careful on the companies we are using, how we are signing those NDAs and all this stuff, so that we have a precaution done, and if anything impacts us also, we can cover ourselves in future. So that's all I can say on this. Thank you.
Okay, we came to the end of our panel, and I just want to conclude a key point. I believe this will be in discussion for the coming years about cutting jobs and the digital transformation impact. what I believe is AI or the tools or whatever technology is being implemented will replace the reporting side of our function. And this is a key point. So we have to adapt and embrace new skill set to be agile and flexible to meet these new requirements in this digital transformation. We need to be exposed more to the IT skill set and technology. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for our panelists. And thank you. This was a very fruitful discussion. And see you again.